metrics of measuring how successful this NADCO report is? Because when you're talking about protecting and strengthening devolution, it sounds very, broad. It sounds very general. Are there any specificity that we do have on measuring whether they're making any traction with the protecting and strengthening of devolution, or even inclusivity in all spheres of public life? Yeah. All spheres. Maybe we need to get granular with this issue so that we get to understand, and that it's good that you're here. Yeah. But from your own assessment, do you think there's any fair appraisement of this NADCO report implementation?
No, I think it's useful for us to cast our eyes just above some of these issues that are talked of by the current regime. First of all, government service is not a favor. The government is supposed to serve this country regardless of where they got the votes or where they did not get the votes. While the president has attempted to do that, there is something that I find repugnant with the visits to State House to be told or to beg for certain services to be taken to certain regions where the delegation comes from. Because at the end of the day, the budget that is done by Parliament is supposed to look at this country holistically, including trying to do equalization on areas that had a lot of disadvantages. The second issue is about the NADCO report. Out of the 10 issues, 8 of them are purely administrative, and some of them are provided for in the Constitution. This therefore means you don't have to sign an agreement between one political entity and the other for some of those things to be implemented. Many of them, the issue of inclusivity is provided for in this Constitution. Issues of being equity is provided for in this Constitution. And other administrative issues that the government does not have to be reminded. I find it very hard for my young brother, Jevers, to implement something or to go through the matrix of implementation, if there are any matrix at all, and timelines provided for this particular issue. The third issue that I'm worried about is that government policy is informed by certain laws, regulations, the Constitution, and any government that pronounces itself on certain policy, the onus is for them to make sure that they stick to the policy direction that they gave to the people of Kenya in their manifesto. And therefore, for them to think that it's a favor for me to take a delegation to them for certain roles to be done is totally misplaced, to say the least. Finally, I feel this issue of coalition or whether merger with ODM, there is something that is laced with it, bringing back the tribal animosity that we saw in 2007. Because now we are almost creating two alliances. Perhaps the Western Alliance and the Eastern Alliance, akin to what we saw in 2007. Because the entire Western was in ODM in 2007, except parts of Bungoma and Trans Nzoia. And it seems that it's a target they are trying to do it. The entire Rift Valley province, or the Kalenjin Rift Valley, was in ODM in that particular election, and some parts of Coast. It seems the president is trying to bring that alliance and set it against certain communities within the alternative view. Something that I feel is dangerous, and I feel the president should rise above that, because I remember when I was working with him, I asked him that, are you interested in us forming this party? Because initially we were trying to stick with Jubilee, but it became untenable because we realized Jubilee had escaped. So one afternoon after lunch, I asked him, are you forming this party so that you use it for national integration to outlive you, or are you doing it as a vehicle for the election? And the answer he gave me was, he wants it to go beyond him. And I added to him that you've done something that is so unique. You were able to bring two communities that were at variance with each other in 2007. By 2013, they are working together. Now, and you are likely, because it was clear, that the Kikuyu community were going to vote for him. You are likely to do that. For the first time, the Kikuyu community will vote for somebody other than one of their own since independence. The third thing I would want you to do is to make sure that you create a political vehicle that goes beyond your lifetime. He has succeeded in the first two, but he seems to be failing in creating genuine national integration by setting communities against each other. Because listen to these people, even commentators like us,